Yeah. So for now, we are looking at this question type, highlight correct summary. How many questions are in your exam? 1 to 2 questions. This question is really important for your reading and listening score. Sometime you may hear some people on Facebook or YouTube or saying this question is not important. No, don't bother about that. Don't listen to that. Okay, this question is important because its score goes to 2 different modules. It's important. Okay, it's important for your reading because you are reading 4 passages of significant length. Okay, some people ridiculously give 27 to 30 marks to just write from dictation. That's ridiculous. It doesn't happen like that way. Okay, so it's not that everybody is a mark. Even one of my students, um, Nilu, a few days back, she got the score out of 3 write from dictation. She didn't have the time to write last 2, so she didn't write at all the last 2, and first one even she might have missed a word or two, and still she got around 70 in writing. So but yeah, this question is important. Highlight correct summary, very important question for your reading as well, because you are reading 4 significantly lengthy passages. So, and listening as well. So it tests your skills for reading and listening. So your listening is half of the test of your reading. How you read and how you understand, that's important. Okay? So you need to read closely in listening. So 1 to 2 questions after listening to a recording, select the paragraph that best relates or summarizes the recording. So now, when we do these questions, first of all, we need to understand what does it mean by a summary. Now, we have done summarize written text, we have done summarize spoken text, so you know what summary means, and that you don't need to write everything in summary. Whatever you hear that falls into your ear doesn't go into your answer. That's what we have talked about. So you can tick all the boxes in content. You get the maximum, okay? If you just write anything, that doesn't contribute to the summary. Summary is the real main informations, okay? So not that anything falls into your ears. Another thing is summaries are paraphrased. There are no quotes. Even I've seen people writing, on YouTube and something, because some video come around. So they are writing summaries and using these um, inverted commas to write things in their summary. That's, I don't expect someone to write inverted comma stuff in a summary because you are expected to paraphrase, summarize, not copy and paste. So highlight correct summary. For high band score, it's still because yeah, I don't say people they get score, but even if they hadn't written in inverted commas, it would have been still better. So you have 1 to 2 tasks in your exam. So 30 to 90 second audio. So as we talked about before, with every question type, the examiner wants to test certain skills. Okay? So examiner wants to test certain skills. For example, this is a 90-second audio. Okay? A 90-second or 80-second, maybe 60 to 90, whatever. So suppose 80-second, 90 seconds. So examiner wants to test whether you could understand a 90-second audio or not. And not everything, so you can just take a gist out of it or not. Suppose you are listening to a piece of news. Okay, a piece of news. For example, there is flood in New South Wales at the moment going around. So that's terrible. We are sorry for the people affected there. So for example, you're listening to news, okay, on radio, the ABC or whatever. So, and it's maybe 1.5 minute coverage on floods in New South Wales or something. Okay, or any other event. So the purpose of examiner is whether how well you could understand that 1.5 minute audio and how well you just, if you need to tell someone, how can you tell? You don't need to repeat everything, but you don't miss out important information. That's the summary. Okay. So yeah, in this question, your strategy is very important. I'll say most people, Not my students. My students, they always get it right. That's I'm so confident how we do. But most people who come to me, so many people, they have already studied some places. I have seen the way they do. Either they think, okay, it's not important, and that's not an excuse to not to do it well. Do well in each and every question. So you follow what I tell you, and it will be all right. You won't struggle in this question. You will love it because this question you will find a kind of free score. Okay, how? So I'll say divide this question into three parts. What? First thing is what to do before the audio start, what to do during the audio, and what to do after the audio. Okay, we need to have strategy for each part of the audio, and then it's all right. So before the audio starts, you have actually 8 to 10 seconds. Let's take 8 seconds, okay? It can be 8 to 10 percent, but let's take you have 7 or 8 seconds. So what to do during those 7 or 8 seconds? You need to read from option 1, read 5 to 7 random keywords from option 1. Why option 1? You can read from option 2, option 3, option 4, but we don't have time to waste which one to read or something. That's why I say it's at the top, just read from that one. Okay, just 5 to 7 random keywords. Keywords mean a bit bigger words, okay? Not article, preposition, not these words. 5 to 7 randomly. Don't read the whole option 1, no. Okay, just 5 to 7 random keywords. Why? Because those keywords will give you an idea what the audio is about. So your mind will be more focused on understanding the, the kind of audio you get. Okay, the mind will be ready because your previous information you have that will help you better understand it. But if you read the whole option, you may go into the question with some wrong information in your head because out of 4, 3 options, 3 questions are incorrect. So if you read, the chances are high that first option may be incorrect. So if you read it a full answer and then a full option and then go into the question, you are already carrying some incorrect information that could affect your understanding of the audio. So that's why I say don't read the option. 5, 7 keywords, it means you don't have an opinion, but you know what it's about. And that's the best thing. Your previous knowledge will help you understand it better. That's what you need to do before the audio starts. Okay, so clear 5, 7 random words. Any questions? Now, next part, what to do during the audio. That's important. During the audio, first thing is don't read these answers. Do not read answers. Okay? When you are listening to the audio, do not read your answers. So what? Now, the examiner wants to test whether you could understand the audio or not. Examiner doesn't want you to be distracted. For example, if you are reading, it means you will miss some important parts. It means you will miss some important part. So if you miss some important parts, then you don't have a full understanding of the audio, and then you may pick incorrect answers, okay? Or, for example, you listen to some particular word, and if you find that word or a phrase, catchy phrase in an option, you may go and pick that. Most students do that. If they don't listen to audio well, they will, I say, chances are very high. Even if you, without reading the or without listening to audio, without listening, reading these options, if you pick, still you have 25% chances of getting an answer right. But if you are reading when you're listening, your chances are even not 75%, not even 5%, because then you will pick most likely incorrect answer. Examiner will trick you because you haven't got a good understanding of the audio and they won't let you pick easily. Okay, they will trick you. So the thing, most important thing, do not read options when you are listening to the audio. Then what to do? Listen to the audio, try to make sense of it, understand it. Okay? Understand it. If you could take some notes, okay, some notes, they're all right. Don't write too much, 5, 7, 8 keywords or in shorthand, they're all right. But make sure if you take notes, your note taking must support your listening, not distract you. Some students, when they're writing notes, they stop listening. If that's happening, that's case with you, stop taking notes. Either improve your note taking. So if you could take notes without getting away, getting distracted from the audio, listening and still you're writing notes, if you're not missing anything, that's all right. Okay. So some notes in shorthand, if you have good practice. Otherwise, don't take notes. Just listen to it carefully, understand in totality, because that's the skill examiner wants to test. Understand the audio in totality. That's it. Done. Now, the last part. What to do after the audio. So after the audio, it's a very important. Okay. And now, first thing is I say eliminate the wrong answer. Eliminate either incorrect answer or not given. But elimination won't work. If you don't follow the first two steps, you won't be able to eliminate. So just don't think elimination is a strategy. Elimination is nothing. The main thing is you need to follow first two steps. And then only then elimination will work. Otherwise, it won't. Otherwise, you are very likely to first eliminate the right answer if you don't follow the strategy. So now you can eliminate. If you find a single piece of information incorrect, a single piece of information, don't expect the whole answer to be incorrect. Okay. Single piece of information not given, you can eliminate. Okay. That's it. Now, so single piece of information incorrect, you can eliminate. Next thing. You need to be really careful when you're reading because now, after the audio, it's the test of your reading skills. Okay, how you read and understand. Because you don't fall into the trap the examiner set. So you need to be watchful. Okay, what? Because sometime one word, especially an adjective or an adverb, can trick you. An adverb or an adjective can trick you. So one word can trick you. The answer can become true to not given. Okay? Or false to not given. Not given to false. So one word can make the whole difference. So be really careful with these words. Also, you need to be very careful with, comparative adjectives, such as the words that end with er, smaller, happier, brighter, such as smaller, happier, brighter. These are comparative degrees of adjectives. These are also adjectives, but they're comparative degrees. So these words are used for comparison. If you listen to the audio, if you think there was no comparison in the audio, and if you find these words, because sometimes these words are tricky. So it means the examiner is doing some sort of comparison, and there was no comparison in the audio. So you can eliminate. So be very careful with these words. I don't say that there is no comparison in the audio. There might be comparison between things, and then it's all right. But you need to be really watchful with these words. Also, the superlative degree of adjectives. For example, smallest, happiest, brightest. So be very careful with these kinds of words, or sometimes word with more, because some words, when they have multiple syllables, we don't write ER or EST, we write the word more and most. So for example, more advanced, something like this. Okay, the word most advanced. These are kind of comparison. With superlative is, comparison with everything else. Comparative is comparison between two things, a comparison between two things, but superlative with others. So be very careful with these words. And also the word than, smaller than, happier than, brighter than. So you need to be very careful with these words when you read your answers, okay? So you don't fall into any trap. Another thing, that your answers are mostly paraphrased. Your answers are paraphrased. So be very careful with catchy words. Catchy words, or you can say some data or statistics. Because you can remember these words or data without any other information surrounding them. So examiner, they may trick you with these catchy words because you just think, oh, this word was in the audio and you pick that word. So if you don't, fully understand the audio, because all four answers, they're quite similar. All four answers are quite similar. So you are tricked. So be careful, don't fall in the trap of catchy words or data and statistics. Because, for example, if I say 485, that's it. You can remember this number 485. If say 77%, you can remember the word 77 without any other information. But if the examiner changes some information around 77 and you just say, oh, I heard the word 77, and you pick that answer and you are tricked. So be careful with these catchy words, with data. So correct, because that's what summary needs to be paraphrased rather than, exact words. And that's what I say when you write your summaries, summarize written text, summarize spoken text, if you write paraphrased, you'll get high score. Okay, if you're writing copy pasting exact words, good luck. But as soon as the computer becomes smarter and smarter, you are going to be in trouble if you're copy pasting. There are other ways. Paraphrasing is not that difficult. Okay, we'll have a full session on paraphrasing. It's a piece of cake. But yeah, and we need to get higher score. So be careful with these words, okay? Don't fall into catchy words and paraphrase. That's it. One more thing. Sometime you may be undecisive between two options. Suppose you have eliminated two, but you get stuck between two. Okay, which one to pick? Okay, and that can be quite a common situation. So what you need to do, you need to pick the one which is more comprehensive, which covers the audio better. Okay, because in one of the answers you may find some important aspect of the audio might be missing, not everything, some part. So pick the answer which is more comprehensive and paraphrased. Even incorrect answer can be paraphrased, okay? Just paraphrasing is not a qualification for the right answer, but yes, that's mostly because all four answers can be paraphrased, so be careful. So yeah, comprehensive and paraphrased. Pick that answer. Okay, let's do this question. And if you follow these things, you're going to get it every time correct. You're going to get your score in reading. You're going to get your score in listening. Let's listen to this audio. Okay, you may take some notes.
Nature Cure aims not only at preventing a disease, but also at helping an individual in maintaining good health for the rest of his life. You see, it's actually a philosophy of looking at life, health and disease through the lens of nature. It is also aimed at finding the relationship between these, and it tries to cure the root of the disease rather than just giving it a quick fix cure like other medicinal practices. Its most characteristic feature is that naturopathy offers such simple and natural means to cure a problem that any disease may possibly be tackled without using drugs and other scientific methods.
Wow, that sounds pretty interesting. But how would you define the theory on which it works? What is the real principle behind it?
Well, the basic principle on which naturopathy works is that nature itself does the reconstruction, rebuilding and repairing of the body. Not only that, it also cleanses the system of the various disorders developed due to our modern and fast lifestyle. You see, for example, boils, pimples, eruptions, etc. are all symbols of self-cleansing mechanism of nature, where nature, through its self-made methods, visibly informs us that there is something wrong.
Your note taking. I took plenty of notes. I almost wrote everything what was there in the audio. But you need to practice. You need to see how good is your note taking. Okay. If you are getting distracted by note taking, better not to take notes. Now, let's have a look at it. If you read option number 1, okay. Option number 1, it says, nature cure strikes at the root of the problem. Yep, it was mentioned. It acts at the root. Okay, not a quick fix solutions. So, yep, that's all right. Instead of striking at the symptoms, that part is right. It therefore gives lasting relief from human maladies, diseases. Looks all right, lasting. Okay. So, nature ensures that left to itself, if you leave things to nature, reconstruction, it was mentioned, exact words, so almost rebuilding, repair, reconstruction, these things, rebuilding, repairing. The speaker said these things in reverse order, but yeah, similar things are there. Of the body continues unabated. So reconstruction, rebuilding, repairing. These I don't like in this answer because this is not prepared by a qualified examiner. It's by some website developer. Okay, so reconstruction, rebuilding, repairing. Okay, so here you could have. Other thing is sometimes, because if it's the question is developed by a trained examiner, they would give more paraphrased. But on some website, such as this one as well, you may have not that much paraphrased, and that's okay. But in exam, you could expect more paraphrased answers because they are designed by more trained examiners. Okay, so yep, it looks okay left to itself. Let's see, but we won't eliminate this one. Let's read other one. Allopathy remedies are virtually quick fix solutions. So is the audio about nature care or allopathy? It's more about nature care, natural care. So, but still, if it's about that one, we usually write what the audio is about rather than, which is not important thing that much. We start with that one, which cannot compare with spontaneous solutions provided by nature care, which cannot compare with spontaneous solutions. Be very careful with showy words and, exaggerated answer. In summaries, most of the time, the answers will not be exaggerated. So naturopathy is true scientific method. So be careful with this kind of phrase. Do you think we need to read further or that's enough to eliminate it? Also provide remedies to lifestyle disease not mentioned. So leave it. Now let's move to the next question. Third option, sorry. We have inherent mechanism to prevent a disease and cure a disease. Inherent mechanism. Its meaning might be the same as the audio, but was this thing mentioned in the audio about some inherent mechanism? Okay, the meaning is a bit similar, but it's a quite added meaning, added stuff rather than something. So we don't need to pick an answer based on our understanding of the audio, our understanding of the issue. We don't pick the answer based on our knowledge. Sometimes you may know more than what's in the audio. For example, sometimes people who study nursing or other subjects, they know more than these kinds of information you find here. But still, it might be an old information here from an old text, outdated information. Still, you need to pick from what has been given in the audio, not from your knowledge or understanding of the issue. Okay? So he says we have inherent mechanism. So you may know we have, but was it mentioned in the audio or not? To prevent disease and cure a disease. The inbuilt mechanism within our body must be allowed. Look at the strong modality. So be careful with strong modality. Okay? Must be allowed to work and must not be tampered with. Look at the strong modality. Nature Cure offers a self-cleaning and self-caring mechanism. Nature Cure. It's okay. So some parts. Do you think number 3 is better or 1? Nature Cure aims at prevention as well as cure. This part is all right. Okay. It aims to relate disease with health and life and offers simple and natural means to cure. It aims not only at repair but also reconstruction and rebuilding. So it says it aims to relate disease with health and life. Does it relate disease to health and life? And offers simple, natural means to cure. And here the word lasting. Which one was in the audio? It aims not only at repair, but also reconstruction and rebuilding. Reconstruction, rebuilding, repair. Even if I say, he first mentioned rebuilding, repair, reconstruction. So what? So what is better answer? Number 1 or number 4? Got it? So number 1 was a bit tricky, but what did we do? Number 1 was also a bit tricky, but as I told you, something left to itself. So these, a couple of things, lasting, unabated, these are a bit stronger, striking at the symptoms and was it mentioned. So a few things I had more doubt, and this is better paraphrased and closer to the audio, to the principle of summary. Okay, so yeah, well done, everyone. Okay, if you follow these strategies, don't worry about this highlight correct summary. It will be a piece of cake for you. Okay, you need to do. But if you could take notes the way I did, but you need to have some really good practice and make sure you are not distracted by the audio. By the writing. When you're writing, you're not listening, and when you're listening and then you start writing, you again stop listening. So if that's the thing, then you have patchy understanding. Then it can be tricky. So make sure even when you're writing, your focus is on the audio more. Okay, in this question. So you won't find a better explanation, I guarantee, a better explanation than this one anywhere. Not even a closer 50, 10, 20, 30%. You won't find 20, 30%. Okay, that's it. So now the next question. Okay, so first step, read a few random words. Sea water, purification, lake water, source of water. That's it. Now these 3-4 words we read, that's it. Now we don't have any information in our head, but now we know Now, this audio will be about some different types of water purification, lakes. See, that's some kind of water purification or whatever. That's it. But you don't know what, because we haven't read the full answer. That's what you need to do before the audio starts. Okay? Now listen to the audio.
What does water purification mean? Basically, by purifying, we are freeing water from any kind of impurity that it may contain, microorganisms or contaminants. This is not a one-step process. Water has to be purified by following a series of steps. These steps depend on the kind of water, that is, whether it is groundwater, lake water, seawater, etc. To clean or purify water, different techniques can be used. Choosing the techniques will depend upon the contaminants present, raw water source, standards that have to be met, and also the finances available. The methods of purifying water include boiling, ion exchange, distillation, reverse osmosis, electrode ionization, solar disinfection, potable water purification, etc. Any of these and many other methods can be put to use to purify water. Though filtering is not enough to completely purify water, it is a necessary initial step towards complete purification.
Very easy one. Which one have you picked? So if you read, sea water needs to, it was about water purification. So, let me go through water purification. Okay. So it was the definition at the start, clearing water of microorganism. And it was said that it's not one step. Okay. There are multiple steps included, and that depends upon the kind of water, whether it's a sea water or whether it's a lake water, whatever type of water. And then to clean, there are different techniques. Okay. It depends upon the condition. Okay. The kind of, contaminants. What kind of contaminants are present in water, and also finance and other things. And then she mentioned a range of those different techniques. You don't need to write those techniques. Okay. You can write a variety of techniques. Even if you're writing summaries, these lists, you don't need to write ever the list. You can say a variety of techniques. And then she mentioned at the end a few sentences about filtering. She said filtering is not enough, though it's a kind of important first step. So now you have the right information to pick your answer. Seawater needs a different type of purification than does lake water. And for that matter, any other source of water. Is it the sufficient summary? Does it cover the audio well? I will hold it even if you don't eliminate, but it doesn't cover about, everything about the audio. It leaves some important information out. So let's read more. Water purification is neither a one step or a one rule solution. One step, yep, it was mentioned, is not one step, not one rule or one technique. Okay. The source of water, kind of water means whether it's a groundwater, ocean, seawater, or whatever. Source, the contents, maybe contaminants. I would have preferred the word. The standards, what level of purification is needed, and the cost benefit and the money, budget, parity, the difference of these things, parity, will decide the method, and what stages of water purification. Okay. Quite compressed. Next, if you say the source of water and money available, just the source of water and money available will dictate the technique, okay, to be used for water purification, which can therefore not be uniformly applied. Okay, that's okay. But does it talk about what is water purification, different steps, kind of water? Not just the technique, it depends on kind of water. So source of water and money. So there were other things as well other than money. So the level of purification. Which is better, 2 or 3? 2 is better until 3. Number 4. Water purification has no quick fix solution. Did we talk about solution? No. So, it's not one step, but not quick fix solution. What kind of solution? It has to be based on, it has to be, that was nothing morality was talked about. It's like a moral lesson. No. Scientific studies about the quality of water, source of water, rubbish answer. So 2 or 3. I'll go with 2. Okay, that's better. More comprehensive. So that's your answer. Any question?